Namaskar and welcome to StudyIQ. I am your friend Rahul Sai. Today we are having a general discussion about the UPSC Civil Service Examination where I'll try to answer some of your frequently asked questions connected with attempts at UPSC. There are some common queries or common themes among aspirants regarding attempts at UPSC. One common question is, sir, how many attempts do I have? In fact, this is a recurring question from past few years, especially among general category students under the EWS category, economically weaker sections category. They ask, sir, I am from general EWS, do I have extra attempts? I'll try to answer that question. One dominant question is this, sir, how does UPSC count an attempt? Many people come and ask, sir, I have applied for the examination. This happened in 2023 as well. They say, sir, I have applied for the examination. I also got my admit card. I was pretty confident. I was preparing very well. But by the time the D-Day came or the prelims was approaching, and I felt a little jittery and I did not go to the exam hall at all. So a question comes in mind, sir, did I exhaust my attempt? Will it be -1 for me now? Because you do know that there are limited number of attempts at UPSC Civil Services examination and exhausting one can have adverse impacts. So I'll try to answer these questions. Along with it, at the end of the discussion, we'll also talk about some of the reforms that are perhaps needed and UPSC asks for these reforms which have not been implemented as well, right? So let's begin and understand how an attempt is counted by UPSC. We do know the procedure. What is the procedure for UPSC Civil Service Examination for any attempt? Say if it is for 2023 this year, you do know that there is a window for your application. There is a date which has been mentioned or which is mentioned on the UPSC website that from this particular date to this particular date, you can go to our website and you can fill in the application for your civil services examination. You go there, you enter your name, email ID, mobile number, you upload your photograph, you upload your signature, you do all these things, you pay the fees. General category and OBS students, they have to pay fees. Women candidates are excluded, SC/ST candidates are excluded from paying any fees. So you apply. After a few days, just a few weeks, a couple of weeks before preliminary examination, you get your admit card. And then the D-Day comes for your prelims. This is the date of preliminary examination. And if you clear prelims examination, you'll be called for mains. If you clear the mains, then you get interview call. And based on interview plus the mains mark, the ultimate rank list would be created. Now, this is the procedure. Now, you have a question. Sir, I have done this. I have applied for the examination. And say I did not appear for prelims examination. Is my attempt lost? The answer would be no. Let's try to understand that. But before that, let's first understand, sir, how many attempts do I have at all? This is the notification for CSP 2023 itself. Every candidate, general candidate, they get 6 attempts. Please remember, if it is general also or general under the EWS category, they get 6 attempts only. There are no extra attempts for general category EWS. Please remember, 6 attempts. For the OBC candidates, the number of attempts are higher. It is 9 attempts. For SC/ST candidates, it is unlimited. When it is unlimited, I'll try to explain what exactly is this. Apart from that, remember, if it is a person with disability, there are 9 attempts for general, EWS, OBC, and it is unlimited for SC/ST for person with disability as well. All right. So how many attempts do you have? Let me just explain it here. You have 6 attempts if you are from general or general EWS as well. There should be no confusion here. 6 attempts for general EWS. Then if OBC, then you get 9 attempts. If SC/ST, you get unlimited. All right. That's the basic idea. These are the number of attempts. And please remember, when it is unlimited, it is connected with your age. Now you do understand the age criteria. The age criteria is 21 years minimum. In the notification, the date would be mentioned 1st August, whatever the year the examination is there. After that, you must be 21. You must be at least 21 with a degree in your hand from a recognized university. You would be eligible. And the age limit for both general and general EWS is 32 years. Remember this. There is no age relaxation for EWS category. All right. For OBC candidates, it's actually +3. It would be 21 years to 35 years. And For SC/ST, when I say unlimited, of course, from 21 years, this would go up to 37 years. All right. That's the meaning of unlimited. That means there is no limit till they have the age criteria or age limit. Till that time, they can appear for the examination. That is the meaning of unlimited. I hope it's clear now in terms of number of attempts. Now, the next question, when do you exhaust your attempt? Now, here I gave you one of the examples of application. You applied for the examination, then first stage is prelims. Now, when would it be counted? There are many students who come up and say, sir, I applied for the examination. I was a little jittery. I did not appear, or I did not go to the examination hall. You have not exhausted your attempt. Simple application or mere application filling, or if your admit card even is released, that does not amount to exhaustion of your attempt. You have to appear for the examination. Appear where? The first stage. You have to appear at the preliminary examination. Once you appear for preliminary examination, your attempt is counted. All right. Please remember, now preliminary examination itself, it consists of two papers. There is GS paper for 200 marks, and then there is CSAT or the aptitude paper. Now there are some students who come up and say, sir, I went to the examination and I appeared for the GS examination, which was in the morning, say 9 to 11. I appeared for the examination and I was not feeling well. Again, I was a little underconfident. I was feeling jittery and I did not appear for second paper. Will my attempt be counted? Yes. Even if you appear for one paper, please remember, even if you appear for one paper in preliminary examination, it would be counted. Yes. Now, there are some students who say, sir, I appeared for the examination, but I did not put, or I did not darken any circle on my OMR sheet. All right. No, strange. But please remember, this counted is on the basis of your presence. If you put present in the examination, there is also an attendance sheet on which you have to darken. If you have put present, that presence, even in one paper, that is enough to be counted as an attempt in the examination. No matter you darken the circles or not, if you're present for one paper, that's an attempt. All right. That is the meaning. Please understand. Clear? So if there are any doubts regarding this, you simply apply. There are many students, I told you, some of my relatives also, they applied for this examination in 2023. They did not appear. One of these students, she was in final year of her degree. She said, I'm not ready for the exams. Fine. Because if you don't appear, you don't exhaust your limit. That means you don't waste your attempt. It's not counted at all. It is counted only when you enter the preliminary examination hall, you attempt at least one paper. So now the next question, if I appear both, yes, it is counted. All right. So if you appear for prelim, then it is counted. Yes. Clear? I hope things are quite clear now. Now, apart from this, there are some criteria where you are restricted to apply for the examination. Now, please remember, who is restricted? Despite all the eligibility, who is restricted? If anybody who is selected as IAS or anybody who is selected as IFS. Now, when I write IFS here, please note this is foreign service. This is not forest service. If you have cleared your forest service examination also, then also you can appear for the UPSC civil service examination. The prelims for both is common. So please remember, if you are selected for IAS or Indian Foreign Service, then you cannot apply again for the examination. You do understand, even after selection, you can apply. But if you have been selected for IAS or Indian Foreign Service, then you cannot appear for the next attempt. That is done and dusted. Now, how can you appear? You have to resign your job completely and then you can reappear again. But who does that? It does not make sense at all. Correct? That's why when you put your preference for your post, do it very carefully. Of course, once you're IAS, why would you write it again? That's there, right? So IAS and Foreign Service restriction is there to apply again. But if some person has become IPS, say for instance, there is a person, an individual X, who has been selected as IPS in the UPSC Civil Service Examination 2022, and they want to appear for 2023 because say they want to become IAS. So they can apply. Please remember, if a person is appointed to Indian Police Service on the results of earlier examination, they continue to be member of the service, but they shall not be eligible to opt for Indian Police Service again. Clear? They shall not be eligible for Indian Police Service. So you can simply put IAS as your preference. All right, IAS or IFS or preference, whatever it is. Please remember, if it is Forest Service, IFOS, there is no restriction. It's fine. If you are selected as Indian Forest, if you are selected into Indian Forest Service, then you can apply again for IAS, IPS. That is not an issue at all. Clear? Right. So these are some of the questions that students ask. Apart from this, as I promised you at the beginning, we'll also talk about some potential reforms. Now, this can be asked to you, say, in your interview. So do you think there has to be some sort of change with respect to how UPSC counts your attempts? UPSC itself has suggested some reforms. Let's try to understand what are those reforms. Please remember, none of those reforms have been implemented, but let's try to understand what UPSC wants. UPSC in 2020 itself, 2019, 2020, they had requested or they had given a recommendation to the central government that if anybody applies for the IAS examination, that means if anybody applies for UPSC Civil Services examination for that particular year, that should be treated as an attempt in itself. UPSC had recommended this to the government, and government has not taken this into cognizance. Now you must be thinking, sir, why this kind of reform? Why would UPSC ask something like this? Does not make sense. Let's try to understand this. See, you do know UPSC CSE, it is a premier examination. There are many students who want to prepare for it. There are many students who are preparing for it. There are many who are serious candidates. There are others who simply want to attempt the examination. You do understand. So what happens is, there are many people who apply for the examination. On an average, applications to UPSC CSE every year are around 10 lakh. In fact, this year I think it was 11 lakh. 11 lakh application. More than 1 million candidates apply for the examination. That means the UPSC releases admit cards for more than 10 lakh candidates. But what happens? Only around half of them, they appear for the examination. On an average, about 5 lakh students ultimately apply for, or appear, I would say, appear for preliminary examination, not apply. Applications are more than 10 lakh. Present there for prelims, somewhere around 5 lakhs, a little around 5 lakh. So what happens is, this stretches the UPSC and its resources. Now you do understand, UPSC is offline examination, preliminary examination, it's offline, correct? Means you apply, you get the admit card, you have to go to the center, you will get a question paper, you will get a OMR where you will darken things, and then that means you, first of all, you need a lot of infrastructure, you need people, you need many centers, and UPSC now, based on the number of applications, they have to book venues. That means they have to book schools, they have to book different colleges, different centers. They have to print more than 10 lakh papers. Imagine printing 10 lakh papers, and out of which 5 lakh are completely useless. Nobody is even using it. Nobody takes them home. It basically goes back to a dump, right? And you do understand, making a piece of paper itself, it takes a toll on the environment because we need trees, right? So they have to print papers, they have to hire the invigilators, they have to ship these 10 lakh applicants, all the details, to respective centers. So UPSC said that there is a lot of loss of energy and resources. So that is why Union Public Service Commission had recommended to the central government that if anybody applies for the examination, that must be treated as an attempt in itself. Although they had suggested a clause, they said that if anybody applies, then after the application date is over, UPSC had given an idea that we would be giving you some window for withdrawing the application. If you think that if you do not want to attempt, or if you say, if you're underconfident, if you do not want to attempt, then you can withdraw your application. So that attempt would not be exhausted. This was an idea. But the government did not take any steps on this. Again, it makes sense also. You know why? Because if something like this happens, it is going to create a lot of problems for the students. Say, imagine I'm an aspirant, right? And I fill the application, very serious candidate. I filled the application. The UPSC said withdraw the application. I did not withdraw because I want to write the examination. But somehow on the day of prelims, something happened. Say something happened. I was sick, or say I could not get the transportation, or something else. Whatever reason it is, I could not appear, or I could not reach the examination hall. Will I lose my attempt? Okay? That sounds like injustice, isn't it? So that's why no action has been taken. This was just from academic perspective. I discussed this from academic perspective. Let me clear it up again. Nothing has been taken into consideration. So please remember this itself. What is this? Meaning you have applied for your examination. Yes, you have received your admit card, right? Okay. You go to prelims examination and you appear there. You appear for preliminary examination at least for one paper. Again, you're thinking that, sir, who appears for one paper? You would not believe there are many people who do this. Especially, I would say, since last 5 to 6 years, I've seen so many aspirants going for the first paper and missing out the second. They think that, okay, the first paper has been bad, then I'll not go for the second paper. It's rather useless. So many people miss out on that as well. So even if you appear for one paper, put a present there, then that is counted as an attempt. Clear? That is counted as an attempt. Please note this particular point. That is what stands now. I'll repeat it. An attempt at the preliminary examination shall be deemed to be an attempt at the civil services examination if a candidate actually appears in one paper. That would also be enough. It would be considered as an attempt itself. Again, notwithstanding that you're disqualified, your examination form was cancelled or your candidature was cancelled, etc. That also would be counted as an attempt itself. Please remember that. All right. So I hope things are clear. All right. That's the end of today's interaction. If you have any queries connected to this, please reach out to me on this particular ID at the rate Rahul Sai 222. All right. Before I head out, I have to announce that our August batch, the evening batch, is starting from 23rd August 2023. Please remember that the Independence Day sale, although it is over, but many people were not able to pay yesterday because of, say, internet issues, because of credit card issues, because of banking issues, UPI issues. So some students had requested, and even till today, if you make payment till 16th August night 12 o'clock, you will get discounted price on our courses. So please take benefit of this. And if you have missed out on the Independence Day sale, you still have an opportunity for even joining the new batch, which is starting from 23rd August 2023, 6 p.m. Again, it is a P2I batch, where we will be with you for prelims, mains, interview, and we'll make sure that you appear for the examination. All right. With that note, let me end this discussion. Thank you very much. Jai Hind.